Hello, this is Alekius and welcome back to Shadow Empire. For those of you who skipped the intro video, we still have to create our nation on the planet, but I thought that might be more interesting for those who want to see the actual gameplay. And Phoenixstate seems interesting from a sense of a rising phoenix from the ashes of the fallen empire on a planet full of lava, heat, and ashes. Not sure we'll call ourselves the president. Dark crimson and an orange, maybe? I tend to like the vertical rather than blocked. You have monotone as well. The block that you saw, and horizontal. These are, from what I can tell, randomly generated each game, so they're not always available and you won't always see the same things. Space Samurai. I think I'm gonna go with this one. It fits the Phoenix motif. And yes. So getting a little bit into the circumstances that create your regime, talking about how people were surviving. So we have starvation and structural lack of foodstuffs after the collapse was the biggest enemy. There was less food than people to feed. How did your ancestors manage to avoid chaos and anarchy in their community? And they give, these are profiles: the enforcement, government, and commerce. Now there's going to be 3 questions because there's 3 sets of profiles. 10 profiles, well, 9 profiles altogether, and then there's some extra ones like the militia profile, and then the religious profile, and the corporate profile. So those story modules, those also have their own profiles. But these 9 main ones, they determine the type of government you have, and they shift around a lot during the game. So this is by no means fixed. We don't have to be beholden to a specific strategy. So enforcement has to do with citizen loyalty, commerce, more of the free market, and corporations as bonuses to private economy, which there's a private public economy in this game I really approve of. It adds some depth similar to Distant Worlds universe. And I've only seen a couple games do it. Mostly it's either everything's private or everything's public. And then the one we're going to go with is government, as that has certain bonuses I haven't really played with so much. I know a lot of other YouTubers are going for this as well because of the technology bonuses. Most of my games have been enforcement and commerce, so I just wanted to do something different for the bonuses. So upon stability return, there were those who did better than others. Who were the people that grew richer and more powerful than the masses? Then this is the psychology group. Fist denotes a people that wants to win and that won't hesitate for a moment to use force to achieve their goals. Mind, it denotes a people that are cerebral and that like to think, have some morals, and be creative. And then heart denotes people who have faith and belief in each other and their joint struggle, which is what we're going to go with. Just to start with, at around the time your father was born, a rebellion took place against the leaders and principles of our state. It was a rebellion against... We have the politics group. Democracy denotes your people's preference for the making of democratic decisions. It denotes a belief that all men are equal and, if possible, have an equal vote. Autocracy denotes an adherence to principles of natural leadership and might makes right. Meritocracy denotes that your nation strives to get the best people to the highest position. And we're going to go with the democracy. And then here we go. This will be the intro. Previous president is now buried, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It is now up to you to lead the state to victory. You are the president of Phoenixstate. Some subjects cheer your ascension, but not all. You will have to hail and address the state as soon as possible. Now, in the game, the blocks of turns kind of go through transitions, and each block has its own unique, well, I shouldn't say unique because you can redo them. This one happens to be a time of bureaucracy, and so we'll get extra bureaucratic points every turn. Right now it's light, and it'll slowly get stronger until it hits its max at 11 turns. And then for the remaining 8, it'll slowly wane away. And then we'll get another one. Some of these can be good, some of them can be bad. Like it could be a time of rebellion. Obnoxious. But you have to be mindful of what area you're in. And then we get our starter fate back. So these have fate points, which I'll describe those in a little bit. Like you can do some negative things to gain fate points. You also get them through normal gameplay as well. And then you can use some of these bonuses. These are essentially a card game. These are opportunities to play these stratagems. This is what Shadow Empire calls them. And then here's some more stratagems, some field training. And we can ask a friend for help. Not that we have any friends yet. Here's the fate points. Our political points, which we use to... Usually these decisions cost some, and the cards do as well. And then our money. Our various resources such as food, water, oil, or fuel, ammunition, base metals, industrial points, energy, radioactives, recruits, which we use to fill our ranks, for standing army. The militia use their own pool. Colonists, rare, and then these are advanced resources that are a little harder to get to and not generally available at the beginning, along with radioactives. The rare metals, machines, and high-tech parts. So we have our ascension speech. Everybody is eagerly awaiting your ascension speech. For most of the people and leaders of Phoenixstate, you are still an unknown. I need to know what you plan to do with your newly gained power. The question on everyone's lips is, who will lose out with your new policies? And then we have our secretary, which we can actually... Yes. Our secretary, which we can take a look and we can replace this person. We can call them to bring up a pop-up to adjust whatever scope what they're doing. I know that's not the best description. And like this guy is going to like it if we talk about economy being our goal. And his background is a color because he belongs to a faction that is in our area. If I click there, we can see, where was it? Oh, there's a way to see the factions, but it might have to... Ah, there we go. This guy's part of the leader, because there's a kind of light beams effect going on behind him, of the superior party. It's all about democracy and commerce, and is a large part of our parliament, which you're not necessarily going to get a parliament. I think there's a Parliament, a Senate, and a Politburo. You will have one of them, and it can change during the game. So here's our profiles. So you have the government profiles, the society profiles, and the psychology profiles. So this first one is all about the society ones. And we've gone for government. You can see some of the bonuses you can get if you keep it for so long. And part of the interesting, basically every 10 points you have a chance, starting at 40. Like, you'll see these arrows. So commerce will overpower government. Government will overpower enforcement. Enforcement will overpower commerce. And it's this circular rock, paper, scissors thing going on. What that means is if government and enforcement add up to more than 100, enforcement is going to lose points at, I think it's a 2-to-1 ratio to government. Government reduces in points too, to bring it down to 100. And then enforcement is dominant over commerce. So if they're above, these two are above 100. Commerce, for every 2 points commerce loses, enforcement will lose 1 to bring it down to 100. That's how it works, and that's how each of these is. And a lot of why I chose each of these during our startup was for the bonuses they provide. And then that last one is the militia profile, which the stronger it is, the more free units you get, because the militia will form new units. But here we are. Massive investment in the public sector. I want a strong public sector. That's the profile that we've gone for with government, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, sir.
Warrior Army is the other smaller profile, or not profile, faction. And this is their leader, and they want us to take one of their candidates and make it part of our government. We do not have enough leaders at the start, so I am all about getting as many as possible.
Yes, sir.
So I will take them. And then we get our first option to add a new council. And I think I'm going to go an unusual route that I kind of wanted to explore the last time. Most people go for economic council, and generally if you do these in order, it's a pretty, in my experience, that's a pretty solid way to go about it. The economic council is very important for your technology. Here's the technology tree. We'd started at Tech 4, I believe. The way I was reading it, I haven't actually tried starting at a higher tech. If you start at Tech 4, you start with some of these. You start with Tech 5. You start with some of these. It's basically the square root of the number of groups that you have is your tech level. But rather than going with that, oh, I forgot to explain it. This EC is for the Economic Council. Then we have the Military Council, Military Research Council, Applied Sciences. So all of these have their own councils to unlock them. So Economic Council is a normal first turn. Military Research Council, also I would say from the people I've seen, fairly common. I'm going to go Interior Council, because I've started to realize how important the leaders can be.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get that off the ground. And then in the 3rd Albion Guards Battalion, wow. That would be this one, I think. Let's zoom in. 5th, 4th, 3rd. So there's one soldier in 3rd Albion Guards Battalion that has the highest kill rating of his unit. Extremely quick and always improving. We're going to give him special training. And this gives a feature to the unit, or feat. And so we can make him a commando, which there's a percentage chance he'll die every turn in combat. But there's, I think it's after a couple turns or rounds in combat, he will basically plant explosives and do damage to the enemy units. I'm actually okay with either of these. The Warrior Knight, I believe, gives bonuses to attack. We're going to go with that. So here we are, the Warrior Knight. Any hits, it's not attack or defense, it's... I shouldn't say it that way. He's embedded, any troops he's embedded with, if they score a hit, it will be a kill. Which is amazing, frankly. And that's adjusted our autocracy profile. Okay, what strategy cards do we have? Recruit a junior. So raise taxes. Going to be a difficult sell though. I would like to get this traveling teachers. Adds quality of life education or different quality of life improvements. Generally makes the population pretty happy. I am also going to call the governor of our zone. So like when you call a leader, you get a few options over here. I'm going to go to zone orders, which will use a little bit of our political power. I'm going to reduce the recruit sign-up bonus. I'm going to increase the max number of recruits a lot.
Roger that.
And then if we look at the local assets, and this is the public-private, these pale borders, that's public, that's what you directly control. I can change the production, mothball it if I need to. Then you have the private assets in the sort of sepia color. And these use a different population. Like here's your population, here are your workers. You can recruit a certain percentage of the population to be workers. The publicly owned assets tend to be a little bit more efficient. But you see you get some credits each turn because private food is being made and you get a small amount of whatever resources the private asset is making and the money from kind of the taxes on what they're providing. And same for our scavenging community, basically going into the ruins that are around us and scavenging resources. So we get a percentage of that and money from what they keep. And then the transport hub, which is important for our logistics network. So I'm probably going to purchase that from the private economy, which will make people angry, but it'll be fine. And then we have our power plant. Some sort of mini reactor, that liquid energy reactor that barely survived and is sort of working. What was I doing? Ah, yeah, strategies. And we'll get one junior added to the pool for next turn. And here's your quality of life in the civilization score. You have all these different things that you can lift the quality of life of the people, which tends to make them happier, and especially with health, education, entertainment, makes them more civilized, according to the civilization score. Now, for our militia, it looks like we have 3 small infantry units, some with RPGs, most with rifles, which is just an improvised environmental suits, improvised low-tech weaponry. And then we have some that are motorized with recon buggies, the motorized trucks, and some artillery. Ooh, a regular tank, that's rare. I almost never see that in a militia unit at the start. That's awesome that we have militia with tanks. Which those ones will immediately come up here. And that is a very strong militia unit, just by the number of people that are in it. Let's get this one up there. And then we're going to switch to a ranged attack. Actually, yeah, that's what I figured. Do a ranged bombardment, use our artillery, soften them up some. And this is why having a large percentage of the surviving population be raiders makes the game difficult. Have these really thick stacks of troops. Like this individual troop is very difficult because of how many people are in it. I'm going to put my warrior knight up around, reinforce this one, and then I think we'll hug the coast just to spread our influence a little bit. Speaking of which, what are we looking at for terrain? We have some rough terrain there. We have this lake that we can deal with, and then wide open deserts up north. So that takes care of all of that. Asset-wise, got some free folk, which basically there's this churning amount of people who kind of wander place to place. And if your people are happy and loyal, they'll want to move into your city and become citizens. I think for now, do I want to start a recycling facility? It's going to take 2,000 workers, 2 turns, 50 metal each turn, 125 industrial points each turn, 1 machine each turn to construct this. And it will produce, it won't be exactly this amount for the recycling because they're going into the ruins and scavenging for this stuff. It'll be a random grab bag of stuff. Actually, this base amount might be a constant, and anything above that is kind of scavenged. Produces 15 fuel, 40 metal. Or that might just be what it is this turn. I don't usually build something this quickly. I think I'm going to wait. Well, I want to... You make your ammunition over here. You can also make machinery by using rare metal and industrial points. Basically have people manufacture by hand machine tools. You have your replacing troops. So all of our replacements, and it's how many you have / how many are being requested by units in the field. You have a trade market. Basically, there are traders on the map, and we are on our own in the middle of no man's land. Interesting. But any major you have a trade relationship with, and any minor, a trade group will be formed, and that is the pool of resources that you can buy and sell to, and these prices change depending on what the availability is. What I'm going to do though is raise a formation. A corps is way too big, we can't afford that. But what I do want is an independent recon battalion. Just 50 buggies. Recon is very important. We'll see that we have a recon of 58. That's actually pretty bad. It's out of 400 for total. 40 just lets us see that there's a unit here. Because we have 58, we have an idea, but it's kind of murky. Is it really 3,400? Is it 2,400? I don't know. That we can't tell what their HQ power is. We can't see their supply consumption. Are they entrenched? Looks like it, but we don't know. Then we just bombarded them. I don't think their readiness is at 100. But with that, I actually will go ahead and generate the turn. This is going to be a longer episode regardless. So, during the opponent's turn, they attacked us. We took out 500 of their infantry, and we lost 100. Our militia had a parade, and our bureaucracy effect increases. We got a new stratagem for a spy. We'll put a spy somewhere. And defense tends to be very strong. As anybody who has played decisive campaigns or advanced tactics gold is. So, yep, this is the troop that we thought attacked us. They have 2,400 troops. That's an accurate number. Which I don't know, that's probably going to be corrected in the full release version. I lost a little bit of militia. It's like we could tell that was the case here, even though our recon told us something a little bit different. So let's move the recon buggy forward. And then do we want to straight up attack? I don't think so. So instead we'll bombard, and with the higher recon we should have a better hit percentage with our artillery. It'll be a little bit more effective. Rather than blindly shooting into the hex and happening to hit someone.
Affirmative.
And there we go. Look at it, we reduced their readiness, their morale, and their entrenchment. Not that's weakened them enough to do anything about them. Well, there we go. I'm going to keep following this road. Oh, this will be a good opportunity to look at the logistics. Right now, we currently have 400 supply on, roughly 400 supply, on each hex of this road. We used 6 supplies, and then this is the organic transport. So this dashed line represents the trucks or or troops going back, picking up supply from this hex and bringing it back to the troop. Whereas this represents our logistics network pushing supplies up to this infantry. So we started with 400 points on every hex. 98% is remaining on these hexes, 100% on this one. And then next turn we expect to push 400 out along this road. Ones I find useful are the bottlenecks one and the used points one. Preview's useful as well. And the logistics network uses supplies to push out along here, so the further out it goes, the less supplies will be available. We'll move down, and there, I now know that there's a unit hidden in this city because our zone of control did not push out. And this guy's going to go out of supply by going down here. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he'll be fine. This is rocky, but for organic logistics, which you can see down there at the bottom, it only counts as 12 action points. So 4 hexes is 48, another 48 to get back. That takes care of the troops. I think we're going to want 12. That puts us low on political power.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to do it. I want as many leaders available for these first few decisions. Now, our militia held a parade. We can give them a bonus to make them happy. Show that we appreciated the parade, how enthusiastic they are. And that will raise this militia profile, which makes it so that the militia units get reinforcements faster, and if there's enough, to form additional units. It also makes some of our leaders happy. I'm going to go modestly.
Yes, sir.
Adventurers discover special location. We have received radio contact from Hex 80 by 9. A private expedition has established control over a special hex. They're requesting that we help them hold onto it. 80 by 9. There they are. A luxury brothel. Okay then. And I am trying to push the heart profile. Although enforcement won't hurt us too much. But I will go ahead and make this promise.
Yes,
Then we have our national budget allocations. Now that the Supreme Command Council is not the only council, budget's having to be moved. If I went with no changes, she wouldn't be upset at all. But now that I am shifting it lower than the 2/3, I'll be a little upset. Because I'm diverting funds from what she expected.
Yes, sir.
Not too bad, it's -6. And then we have to appoint our director for the Interior Council. Leaders that were not nominated. We have 4 leaders altogether. And then these 2 were the ones that were nominated by the Parliament to be the Interior Council. And if you just want to go quickly, you have a suitability rating, you can look. She should be better than Naomi should be better than Piotr. But you can also see capacity, which gives it a good indication of their overall capabilities. And they're both 2s. You can also see, are they going to match your profiles? Are they going to get along with you pretty well? Some of that's the personality, whether they're aligned to a faction, their loyalty level, stuff like that. And then you have individual categories and skills that all factor into what is available for a roll when they have to roll against something. Pretty poor matches on the profile, but I think we will appoint Naomi. Actually, how is this? Got good charisma. Yeah, we're gonna go for her.
Copy that.
Of course, she's very happy that I appointed her, so now she's at 100. And these are the priorities for the Interior Council. I am looking not so much for interior policies, very much not tariffs, because we don't have anybody we can... Tariffs are particular to what state you're trading with, and we're really not trading with anybody but the non-aligned, and we can't set tariffs on that. And then taxation policy, I wouldn't mind a few of those cards. Mostly, I want human resources. I want new leaders. The whole reason I went with the Interior Council first. And that takes us to the end of round 2. I know this has been a little bit of a long episode. But we can see a border right there. We're about to bump into Major. Should be interesting. But mostly we're just going to be pushing out our borders and defending from the non-aligned forces. But there you go. That's the beginning of actual gameplay rounds for Shadow Empires. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you staying till the end. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time. Take care.